So One Piece Magazine Volume 17 is out today, and we've got some fruit reveals. One of them being the Goro Goro no Mi, held by Enel or Eniru or Ener. And the English name is the Rumble Rumble fruit. I don't know why Enel has so many names. I've always just called him Enel. And then we have the Horo Horo no Mi, also known as the Hollow Hollow fruit, held by Perona. Let's talk about the Hollow Hollow fruit first. So the Horo Horo no Mi, or the Hollow Hollow fruit, is a Paramecia type devil fruit eaten by Perona. The main ability of this fruit is simply to produce ghosts. Said ghosts have a lot of abilities, but the main ability that's used the most often is the ability to make living beings depressed by having the ghost fly through said living being. There doesn't seem to be a limit on how many ghosts can be produced or how far the ghosts can travel, as Perona has used said ghosts to spy on the Straw Hats during the entire Thriller Bark arc, and she can actually see through said ghosts, and this is called a ghost network, using the ghosts as surveillance cameras. What's also very cool is that she can make ghosts into bombs, either tiny bombs with mini hollows or a big kamikaze wrap produced by a special hollow. And these are just varying intensities of bombs. And she detonates these bombs with a snap of her finger. The interesting part about this aspect of the fruit is that it is a light reference to Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, we have a fusion character named Gotenks, a fusion between Goten and Trunks, who used a weird attack called Kamikaze Ghost Attack, in which he would spit up these weird putty-like ghosts that looked like himself, and if you were to make contact with these ghosts, they would detonate and explode. So this is a reference to that. A bit more controlled than a Kamikaze Ghost Attack, because Perona could just detonate them herself. But yeah, very interesting. So another weird ability of the Hollow Hollow fruit is that Perona can astral project from her body. And the reason why this is the weirdest ability of the fruit is because it's suggested that over the course of the story, the refinement of this ability has gone up tenfold. Because we see it in Thriller Bark, right? Perona simply pops out of her body and she too becomes a ghost. As a ghost, she can fly, she can go through solid objects, she can go through people. Though she goes through people, she does not have the same properties as her ghosts. So she cannot make people depressed. She can fly around, she can increase her size, do all these sort of wacky things, right? But it's clear that she cannot interact with solid objects. She pranks Usopp in saying that she can, but she actually can't. However, during the course of the time skip, this weakness seems to have been shored up, or at least it's been mitigated in some ways. It's unclear if she has the size manipulation, but the flight is at least intact, because what seems to have happened is that she can now fly around as a solid body. I don't know if she's still astral projecting, but it seems as though her normal body has somehow retained the properties that she can get when she astral projects. And we see this at the middle of the Return to Shibodi arc, in which she meets up with the Straw Hats. Sanji comments that she has a lovely scent. If she was a ghost, she wouldn't have a scent, which makes me believe that somehow, some way, she has powered up over the time skip, which is super weird, and I don't quite know why or how this has happened, because it's never explained. But yeah, weird, subtle power-up for Perona. Also, we find out that the explosions created by her ghost can be absorbed by an impact dial. So that's cool. We see that in the Perona versus Usopp fight. But yeah, let's go and talk about the shape. It looks like a bunch of bananas, but seeing as how the fruit is a bit smaller looking, I guess these are like baby bananas. And each of the 5 little banana berry things has little eyes on it, and each one is topped with a classic devil fruit swirl. I'm mad I didn't do a video about this months ago, because I had the thought that the fruit was going to look like the ghost that Perona produces. I would have been wrong, because the fruit here doesn't have the lips that the ghosts have. It just has the little beady eyes, which is very interesting how this looks, because it looks horrifying, actually. It kind of reminds me of like an old school chandelier, like the type that you would see in those haunted mansions, or I guess like Chandelure the Pokemon. But it tracks because, okay, it's a spooky fruit in a spooky place, and Perona spends most of her time in a spooky mansion. So yeah, so it tracks. It's just weird, okay? But yeah, it's super interesting. I just did a short about this, seeing as how it's very likely that she's going to be in Cross Guild. At least I'm hoping she is. The ghosts will probably be able to affect Logia users, because I don't think these will actually proc any Logia regeneration to go off, because it's not an attack. So the ghost will just go like right through Crocodile if he gets out of line, and she can actually make him depressed, presumably. So that's a very funny idea that I just like to think about, because I find that hilarious. But moving on, we have the Rumble fruit, Enel's fruit, which is a Logia type Devil fruit that allows the user to generate, become, and control lightning. The interesting thing about this fruit is that it just might be one of the strongest fruits in the series in terms of raw power, and Enel himself is one of the most adept Logia users in the entire series, because apart from becoming, generating, and manipulating lightning, he has a variety of other very interesting abilities, one of which is super interesting because unlike other Logia in the series, he's the only one, at least that I know of, that can combine an aspect of his Logia fruit with Haki. He can hear electromagnetic frequencies on the air, and then using that in combination with his observation Haki, known in the Sky Islands as Mantra, he can pinpoint on people's locations, so he can just teleport to them at the speed of lightning, or he can send down an aerial strike of lightning to their location from where he is. It's ridiculous. It's simply ridiculous. And he's the only Logia fruit user who can combine Haki with an aspect of his fruit seamlessly. We have not seen that yet in the series. When you see a Logia fight, it's usually like two different skill sets. They have to be solid in order to use Haki. There's never like this sort of conjoinment of Devil fruit and Haki when it comes to Logia fruit users, because their bodies are always flowing, I guess. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Green Bull, because Green Bull is always solid in a way, and I want to say he was using Haki on his tree roots or thorns or something. But anyway, with the Rumble fruit, I think the reason why it was compared to the Hollow fruit, or at least they're sharing a spot together in this volume of the magazine, is because much like the Hollow fruit, the Rumble fruit has surveillance abilities. So I think that's why the two are being compared here. Another interesting thing that Enel does is that he can use a variety of lightning-based constructs, which you see other Logias do, but he by far has the most, because he summoned a dragon made of lightning, a bird made of lightning, and a wolf made of light, which is kind of sick. It's really sick indeed. He's also been shown to be able to heat his electricity up to the point where he can smelt metal on the spot, which is insane. He'll dip his hands into the golden parts of his ship, the Maxim, and then just make constructs out of that metal on the spot. He smelted his own staff and made a trident on the spot to stab Luffy during their fight, which is insane. Another really cool ability that he has is that when he's made solid by Wiper's Sea Stone skates and is hit with a projectile, he has the ability to restart his heart via a move called Heart Massage or Shinzo Massage. And the term Shinzo Massage is mentioned in One Piece Burning Blood, the video game, first, and is brought up in the One Piece magazine volume 17, where the fruit debuts. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, let's talk about how the fruit looks. Here's the thing. I don't know if I made a short about this yet, but it's either coming or I've already recorded it. The funny thing about every single Logia fruit that I have seen be revealed so far, They all are super duper consistent in design, which is abnormal for devil fruits in general, because the only thing you expect out of a devil fruit is that it has swirls, right? But with Paramecia and Zoan, it kind of runs the gambit to be whatever Oda is thinking at the time. There have been a few times where they've been thematic, like the bomb fruit looks like a bomb, the leopard fruit looks like a leopard, cow fruit model bison looks like a bull, kinda. Then in the same fruit class, the cow fruit model giraffe is just a red banana. So yeah, they are all over the place. Even like when you go to mythical zoans, I think the only two mythical zoans that have had anything to do with the power that they bestow are the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, because it's blue, it has horns, it looks like the Azure Dragon that Kaido turns into, and then like the snake fruit model Yamato no Orochi, because it has like 8 leaves. So it's really interesting how just consistent Logia fruits have been throughout this entire time, because we have Enel's fruit here, and Enel's fruit is a yellow fruit with sparks coming off of it. Now, a bit of discrepancy about that. In the anime, and only the anime, Enel's lightning is depicted as blue. This is an anime inconsistency. Enel's lightning, canonically, factually, is always yellow. And this kind of proves that it's yellow, because when the manga is digitally colored, or when Enel appears on covers or color spreads, the lightning is always yellow. It's never blue, it's always yellow. I'll put examples on screen, but yeah, it's never blue, never ever blue. It's only blue in the anime. In canonical material, always yellow, like the fruit here. Always yellow. Even when you have sort of situational what ifs, the fruit still produces yellow lightning for its user. Because when we see Nami eat the fruit in a special little what if, there's yellow lightning coming off of her. And this is a sketch done by Oda in which Nami has the powers of the Rumble fruit, and you see that the lightning is yellow. And then in another weird what if scenario, when Hancock has the powers of the Rumble fruit, her lightning is also yellow. So lightning produced by the Rumble fruit's abilities are always yellow. I don't know what fruit this is supposed to be, because it's certainly not an apple. It doesn't look like an apple. It looks like a pear, which is weird because Enel's favorite fruit are apples. So I was just under the impression that it would be an apple, but no, it is a weird looking pear or a mango or something. And it's decked out with a whole bunch of lightning bolts coming off of it. And you see this with every Logia fruit. There is some sort of reference to the element or the location in which the element is prominent. Because with a crocodile's fruit, you see it has little cactus protrusions sticking out of it. Where do you find cactuses? In a desert. What do you find in a desert? Sand. Or like a weird one, Blackbeard's fruit. But I think Blackbeard's fruit is a reference to like the weird gloomy emoji that you see in some animes, or like a will-o-wisp, which has like a ghostly intention to it, so you can sort of equate that to being spooky or dark. So that's the sort of logic we're going with his fruit, but it's still done in a very similar way to all Logia fruits. So yeah, Logia fruits, for whatever reason, are super duper consistent. They're never just regular fruits. There's always some weird beveling or some sort of weird protrusion sticking out of them to indicate that this is a Logia fruit. And nothing else is really this consistent, which is super weird. But yeah, still waiting on Enel's return back into the manga. But that's very interesting that it looks like this. And that really confirms that, yes, the canonical lightning for Enel is not blue, it is yellow. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching.